Permit me to stand on existing protocol. We are the progressives. Today we have only two parties in Nigeria, APC and others. We have the best party in Nigeria and we have the rest of them. So today we have the best APC party and the rest. If you are not in APC, you belong to the others. APC is the only pan-Nigerian party. I was explaining the meaning of our flag and the symbols on them. And I told them the green in APC stands for our green vegetation. The blue stands for the significance of the sky, showing that APC has the divine touch of the Almighty, and whenever we look up to the sky to ask anything from God, God will always answer APC, as He has answered us in this convention, bringing all the prophecies of the liars to shame. When we have our broom, the broom will always be the divine symbol and instrument to sweep out corruption, to sweep out insurgency, to sweep out insecurity, just as our president is doing. Within 3 years, he has done what others could not do in 16 years. We will continue to sweep until we get the white that is the background of the broom in our flag, signifying peace. We will continue to sweep until we shall become as white as snow, and Nigeria will no longer be regarded as fantastically corrupt, but as fantastically clean. And we are standing on the red. The red signifies the labor of our heroes past. The red signifies the sacrifice of our forefathers. We remember Sir Ahmadu Bello. We remember Chief Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. We remember Chief Obafemi Awolowo. We remember Sir Tafawa Balewa. And of course, we remember Chief MKO Abiola, the democracy matter. The blood they shed for the redemption of Nigeria has only been recognized by this party APC. And we, by recognizing them, have now attracted the blessings in their sacrifice, rather than the curses that would have followed us and following Nigeria for lack of recognition of that sacrifice. That is the red we are standing on. APC is the divine party that is made to lift this nation to the highest height. If you are not a member of APC, I want you to repent and today join the progressives. The progress we are saying is our name. From progress, you proceed to progressives. APC is the party that has in its constitution an objective to promote internal democracy at all levels of party organization. We have demonstrated it today. All the posts that there are no consensus, everybody went to the ballot in a free and fair democratic exercise. That is what APC stands for. We stand for giving our sacrifice, selfless sacrifice, that will rekindle a deep sense of patriotism and nationalism by our constitution. That is why APC was able to dethrone an incumbent government, because everybody that was called to make sacrifice made sacrifice for the party and for the nation. We will continue to make the reasonable sacrifice until Nigeria gets to the high. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to say, APC oh. APC kama party umuwande, party umuwande kama party umuwande, party umuwande kama. Thank you for listening to me and God bless you.
At NDC, there are many renegades from ADC. And the reason they went there is because they are scared of participating in primary elections.
Who are those renegades?
NDC.
I mean, is it fair to refer to those who legitimately, who constitutionally decided to pitch their tent with a certain group?
Okay. And maybe I was even too lenient. Maybe let me say they are political con men.
Who exactly are you talking about?
Okay. Let's look at it this way. They came into the coalition.
Who are they?
On their own.
Who are they?
I am talking about P2B and Kwakwanso. They came into the coalition on their own. And they said coalition is the best and the only method to send Tinubu packing, by their own words. And on their own, without any reason, they left for NDC. Is that not being a con man?
Don't they have the right to change their minds? Don't you change your mind as a human being?
Let's talk about P2B, for instance. In 2019, P2B was the vice presidential candidate of Atiku Abubakar. P2B was the chief spokesperson, the master strategist, the campaign officer for the South for Atiku Abubakar. P2B was the one who led Atiku Abubakar into the campaign in 2019. Then from nowhere, in 2027, after Atiku had brought you out to national politics, you are now creating the impression with your toxic followers that Atiku is not qualified to be president.
P2B has toxic followers?
Very, very street urchins.
You are one of them.
I was. Why did I leave? I told you that in 2023, before I even came into the campaign, I had never sat down with P2B to discuss. And I read up about him. I read up about Atiku Abubakar. I wanted somebody from the Southeast to be president. And of course, I campaigned, and I believe we won that election. After winning the election, what happened? He could not secure his own victory. And that was when I knew that I had a problem with this person. I spent 240 days about that in a court. I spent almost 2 years campaigning. And after, we believed that we won. And you could not make any sacrifice to secure your own winning. And let me say one thing.
Is that fair to say he did not make any sacrifice?
What
he paid lawyers. He went around saying he won that election. What else do you want him to do?
He went around saying he won that election. Let me ask you one question. What is his path to victory in 2027? I'll give you an example. There was a one man, an incumbent president from the South. He contested an election. He won all the election in Southeast. He won all the election in South-South. He won substantially, made almost 25% in the whole of Southwest, and won almost 25% in the whole of Northern region. Yet, he lost the election. And he had the army, the police, the navy, and the air force in his power. And yet he lost the election. I'm talking about Goodluck Jonathan. And you, P2B, without the army, without the police, without the air force, without the navy, without any power, you want to face an incumbent, Tinubu, that has vowed to snatch power, to grab it, and to run away with it. He did it to you in 2023. You did nothing. And now he's an incumbent. You think you can go alone and win a Tinubu? You must be a joker. And that's why I say that is con job.
What makes you...
Meaning that P2B is not only that he's not corrupt, he's incorruptible. And so he's not comparable with the presidential candidates of the other parties. So whenever you're talking about corruption, you just have to look down for people who can make honest mistakes just because human beings are not God. But when you talk about corruption, the Oba of Bini looked at my principle and said, your integrity goes before you. My principle is a man that wouldn't even accept plot of land that is due to him as a former governor. He wouldn't even accept pension due for him. Lagos State used its own liaison office here in Abuja to compensate Tinubu after being governor, after they made the elaborate pension scheme law. So can you compare? No, you don't compare my principle with Atiku or Tinubu. When you talk about anything that is misappropriation, you can say that some people in Labour have made honest mistake by the judgment of the court. Have you ever seen honesty added to those two gentlemen? Go to the court of public opinion. You wouldn't find it. A Tinubu and Atiku. Don't take my words for it. Take the words of Hayatuddin, a presidential aspirant of PDP for it. He said the PDP primary was obscenely monetized. So when a man like that who bought his own ticket by the confession of them, remember what my principal did? He said PDP is now a stumbling block to his aspiration for a new Nigeria, and that was why he left. So do you compare such a manipulator and then such an intimidator in Tinubu, who will tell you if anybody says there will be a change of government, tell the person shut up, who will tell you mentioning the name of Funka Akindele irritates him, an intimidator. So my principle is an inspirator. He will tell you, don't vote for me because I'm Igbo. Vote for me because I'm a man of character, competence, and capacity.
I can assure you, I can assure you that if I had won presidency, people won't be happy. The elites will not be happy. That's why they ganged up, because they know what will have happened and everything. People were not happy. So it wasn't about people's happiness. I get warned, and I say it every day. I get warned. People tell me, and when I became governor, I used to quarrel with people. People were not happy with me. If you know that the elites in Anambra, even till today, are not happy with me. And it's not that I know it, because I go to see a president then who tells me, Peter, nobody's happy with you. And I say, Mr. President, I didn't promise people happiness. I promised to fix school. I promised to fix school. I promised to fix health. I promised to, because the only thing that would have made them happy is to give them public money, which I'm not ready to give anybody. And that's it. You know, so
vote wisely. Vote for Peter Obi, who has no trace of corruption, who has not been invited even once by any anti-corruption agency, who has discharged himself as the best governor when he was the governor of Anambra State, who has turned the worst security situation, a state where governor is kidnapped and taken to a place and his resignation announced against his consent. That's Anambra State. He took that state and transformed it to be the safest state in Nigeria, with the least poverty rate in Nigeria, with the best road network in Nigeria, with the first in Millennium Development Goal by UNDP. Peter Obi took a worse situation and turned it to the best. Atiku Abubakar is a man that has propensity for corruption, tendency to disloyalty, inability to say and speak the truth at all times. He is a man who has propensity for poor judgment, belief and reliance in matter about, lack of transparency, a man who trusts in money to buy his way out in all situations, a man who has the readiness to sacrifice morality, integrity, propriety, truth, national interest for self and selfish interest. We are seeing it manifesting. It gives me goose pimples that Atiku has the national award in corrupting the generation before him and corrupting the generation after him.
Window. So if we dissipate our energies in fighting ourselves, and you know, if people are fighting you, everybody is fighting you, it means they believe that you are strong. If NDC is not strong, they will not be fighting the NDC. All of them, they are dissipating their energy. Instead of fighting the APC, they are fighting the NDC. I can't understand why. I can't understand. That shows you that the NDC is in the forefront of the opposition, and that the others have no chance.